Okay, well, we are back in the Zoom squares, what Zoom, whatever, bro. Actually, Zoom, man. I, I mean, I'm already saying this because like my school already said we got to start like classes like online the first 3 weeks, so I don't want to do all that, but anyway, and that's besides the point. Welcome to the This Is Bull podcast. I'm your boy Ray, along with
I am Dre.
and Charles. We don't know where that nigga's at. That nigga doing something somewhere on his own time, but yeah,
It's always off.
exactly. But yeah, how's your day going, Dre?
Man, it's been pretty busy. Pretty busy. Well, not like busy, but just been out the house doing stuff. Went out, went to somebody's house. Well, not just anybody's, just one of our youth leaders for our church, just a guy that we know very well. To the point I pretty much call him Unc. I don't know what you call him. He basically my uncle, who not really my uncle, but I call him Uncle. Is that kind of dynamic. But yeah, I was at his house earlier and I ended up getting the cut, as you can see, and went ahead and got that taken care of because your boy was looking rough. And not talking about the rough that I've been having throughout all my life. This is the worst kind of rough that I ever had throughout my 22 years of existence. So I went ahead and got that taken care of. Also, so I did that. Went back home, dropped some food off because he also cooked. He was like, "Hey, I got some chicken, I got some sausage." Pause. But yeah, I got some chicken, I got some sausage, I got all that for you and the fam. You can go ahead and take that with you. I said, cool, say less. I took it with me, dropped it home, went to my sisters because they have a gender reveal. They're expecting their second child this February. So that's something to be excited about. And I can tell you it's going to be another boy. So, but I have two nephews by, I would say around this time next year. I was going to say around February next year, but same shit, you know.
God dang. Okay. Well, nice. Yeah, I had RA training and all stuff like that, moving in and all that crap. Family just came and visited. Hung out with them yesterday and today. Nice to see them and all that jazz. Got my car fucked up. Got in an accident before got to school. So like
Yeesh.
huh?
I was like, sheesh.
Yeah, I mean it's not like a bad accident, but like right now, at least the insurance company, like they just want to total it out because they say it's not valuable enough to like get it fixed. So we still on the process of that, like to see if we can get it fixed or if we just want to total it out and then I'll just be without a car. Which of course sucks because I told you literally just 5 minutes ago I hate not driving. Um, yeah,
I mean, it's been like that. Ain't it been that way for the past, well, your first 15 years of life? You can go
yeah,
another.
but there's a difference when you don't know how to drive and then when you do know how to drive, but then you can't drive.
I mean, it ain't feel that different to me.
Okay, shut the fuck. Like, come on now, bro. Like, your
Oh,
mom is so eager to drive. My mom's like, oh no, if Ray can drive, he's gonna drive. Like, yeah. So I'm like, we're still trying to deal with that, but prayers that we'll find out what happens. I feel like more likely we'll have to total the car. I don't want to do that because I mean you've seen how close I am with my vehicle, but if it's come down that road, then it's come down that road. But all right. So getting on to the first topic. Our first topic is our musical influences that we like, I guess. So I'll let you go ahead and go first because I already kind of know what you.
So, so I think I'll go about this. We start from the beginning of our lives and just
You gonna start with you
grow.
like 5 or something?
I don't know how far back I'm going. I was
I
just
mean,
kind
I
of
guess
like,
you could just like start like middle, like late middle to high school, I guess.
okay, cool, cool. You know what? Okay, no. So I know I'm gonna start it off. I'm probably gonna start off like 10 years ago, but I know how I'm gonna go about this. I'm gonna make it very brief. So throughout my whole life, I pretty much listened to. Well, when I was younger, it was pretty much like jazz music and gospel music and all that because that's basically what my parents listened to. Mainly my dad, them Saturday mornings when you got the jazz music playing in the background, it's cleaning day around the house. Yeah, that kind of thing. So why you looking like you don't know
No,
about
I'm
them days?
just saying, like, at least in my family, we was playing gospel music, and that's when you knew you was cleaning because they was playing gospel music. But jazz music, I mean, not don't get me wrong, jazz music does hit, but like to clean with, like, I feel like jazz music helps you fall asleep. So how does that like help you clean? Like, I don't know.
I mean, he probably does it for all the above, like for cleaning, for driving, for a lot of things. So that's
Uh,
just me. But yeah, I would say that's kind of like how it started off. But I would say definitely my main favorite genre was pretty much like rap, hip hop, and basically like the stereotypical stuff, pretty much because of the times when I would drive. Well, not me driving. I remember being in the car with my sisters, and that was the main thing that we pretty much listened to. Well, they'll have in the car. So that was basically that. And just thinking back, dang, I remember 10 years back when you first heard music from Drake and J. Cole and all those other artists, and to see them 10 years later become some of the biggest names in hip hop is really sort of bizarre in a way. Not like bizarre, but like it's definitely crazy. Cause it's kind of like, dang, I remember when not a lot of people were listening to those niggas and like seeing where they at now is so
I
inspirational, man.
and I mean I told you I've always been like I'm not gonna say I've been late, but I will kind of say I've been late to like stuff because like when I first found out about Drake, I believe that's when he was on the come up, like of becoming very popular and stuff like that. Because like I think like I didn't. I think the first song I heard by that man was well over, and then of course then he started blowing up, and then came out with like Hotline Bling, and then that's when I won't even say that's the peak of his career because his career is still going up like crazy. But
I would say even before that, it was like when now I think it was if you're reading this, it's too late when he really started, or was it nothing was the same? It was one of those two. It was
oh
around.
yeah, definitely. And then like I think by the time I started listening to J. Cole, because I know actually I like so there's a lot of artists that I've heard, but I never knew the name of. And then like when like someone will play the song and then they like, oh, this is that person. I'm like, wait, I've been listening to that person this whole time. I didn't even know who it was. Like I think like you play like a song or something, and I'm like, yo, I heard this song. You like, yeah, this J. Cole. I'm like, this J. Cole? What? I don't even know who this man was till like you said something like it was crazy. Like I don't know, and that's how it's always been. Like because I know like I listen to songs through the radio, so sometimes like I like go on to the radio and they're like already playing the song, but I know like certain cars, it'll tell you like the artist, but at least my car didn't. So I was just like, okay, I'm listening to the song, I fuck with it, but I don't know who the artist is. So, but it's definitely crazy to think about like you said like musical artists like that start out low and they just blow up out of nowhere because I think I told you I didn't know who Travis Scott was till my junior senior year of high school, and that man was already like up there. So I'm like, I just feel like I'm late to everything, basically.
Honestly, I feel like I never really listened to much Travis Scott until college, believe it or not.
What he
Like I
dropped,
heard of it
Astro World, or I think,
around that time. And it wasn't like that I didn't know any of his music prior to that. It was like I briefly listened to like a couple of his songs. I'm pretty sure Antidote was out when we were in high school.
yeah,
Butterfly Fed was out when we were in high school. Just mainly like the shit that you will hear on the radio. And that's pretty much all I'll hear from Travis.
because personally, me, I know, like me, I was like growing up when I was growing up like a kid, and my mom would play like Michael Jackson and other artists and stuff like that. So like I grew up on that type of music, and I it's actually funny. So I don't know why I got pop and hip hop and rap mixed up. So like I heard like an Eminem song or something, and I was like, "This is pop." My mom was like, "Nah, nigga, this is rap. The you think this is pop?" I'm like, "No, like, because I think I got confused because like the radio station that it came on was like Sunny 99.1 or something. That like
Mm,
it's a pop station, but then when you hear like a hardcore rap song, it's not. I mean, it's not pop. It is rap, but I just thought it was so for the longest, I was like, "Oh yeah, my favorite thing is pop." And then my mom would be like, "Oh, play a song," and I put on some rap. My mom was like, "This is not pop, bro. Like pop is like Katy Perry and Taylor Swift and stuff, and you over here listening to some Eminem, Drake, and J. Cole." Like so. I will say probably yeah, that is my like number one genre is rap right now, just because if I'm not listening to a rap song, it's probably a pop song. So I'll put yeah. I know, like, well, I know one of your favorite artists is Eminem because you listen to that nigga on the daily.
bro, there was like a brief bit, and I think it was from my childhood. Like my best friend from childhood, he's a huge Eminem fan. And so when I hang out with him a lot, that's when I knew about Eminem, but he was the one who really got me listening to like a lot of Eminem. So like throughout there was a brief period all throughout middle school and that first little bit of high school where all I listened to was Eminem. That was all I was listening to was that man. And then after that was when I started like branching out.
Because I think actually, like, you kind of helped me branch. I mean, I was already branching out, like, in my own, like, just either hearing music on the radio or something. But I think, like, you helped me listening to music because I never heard of Lil Uzi till you started playing him in your room. Because I think I asked you who it was. Um, and all that stuff. And yeah, there's like a lot of artists that I previously didn't know because I heard their songs, but I just didn't know who was singing it. And then when I had got two and two together that that was a person singing a song, I'm like, oh, I've been listening to this person for the longest time. I just didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
Crazy to think about like that.
Big facts, big facts. You remember back in 2016 where everybody thought that designer was future?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it was because of the Panda song. I don't know why.
It was the parents. So I ain't gonna lie. I was one of them people.
You thought he was Future?
Bro, when I first heard it, because I never heard the name designer before. Prior,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
even
no,
when
it was
Pandemic,
definitely interesting. I was like, designer, like, I'm like, is it just a regular designer or this an artist named designer? Like,
then a couple months later it came out, Timmy Turner. He be wishing for a burn. Okay, let me stop because we're gonna mess around and get copyrighted.
yeah, man. Like, I don't know. And I think designer's supposed to drop something. I'm not sure because I know like he made millions off of those two songs alone.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why you think he was Future, but no. But I just say this right now. If they do a song together, that has to be like the most weirdest song out possible. Because you know how Future be with his random that he just be saying, and then designer like bro, like that song is, and you know it's gonna be top 10 or top 100, something like that. So, but if they ever make a song, I don't know.
I don't know what's worse, that collab or a collab between 6ix9ine and Mario Judah. I'm telling you,
I
if
hope
those two
we never
collab,
get that, bro. I
it's
hope
over.
God. You already know my mom's reaction to Mario Judah. No,
Bro, I ain't
and
gonna lie. When I first saw Mario Judah, I was like, if I have to imagine Rod Wave's evil twin, it's Mario Judah.
yeah, and then this. I mean, I just don't know how he blew up. I just don't like. I just hear this nigga's name from your mouth. I'm like, who's this Mario Judah? And then you start dying because of his performance. Right? He passed out. I just like, what nigga goes on stage like, he passes out on the ground. Like,
Bro, why the interviewer had me die when he was interviewing me, he was like, that's gotta be racist. Ain't no way you could say nigga like that and not be racist.
yeah, because he's always singing the N word, like, and it's funny how he does it, but it's just he's always doing it. And then like that one video with I don't remember those guys, but like where he just intrudes in like with him and his girlfriend or something, and he's just like, nigga, like, bro, I would not want someone to be coming in while me and my girlfriend try to do something and singing that word. Like,
Big facts. No, sir.
uh,
Okay,
I,
so what
I,
would you say? What? Go ahead.
oh no, I was just saying, like, besides that, like, I definitely am trying to like branch out because I also, okay, that's a plan. I also like fuck with a lot of old songs, like from movies and stuff. Um, like I know for sure, like when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, like granted that was just a great soundtrack. I will say that, but like those songs, like old songs like that are like memorable in movies, I started adding to like my.
And they always work.
They
They make
always,
it work.
they really do. And like I said, they just make it memorable. Like when I hear that song, I like think of the exact scene from the movie and stuff like that. So like I've been like watching movies and stuff, and if I like a song in the movie, I'll start adding it to like my playlist or something. So I'm like trying to like listen to new stuff, but also like trying to go back and listen to old stuff because like I know my mom, like I've only heard like three DMX songs, I think, or whatever. And then like there's a movie with DMX song in it, and like I knew what the song was, but you know, parents, what you know about this? I was growing up listening to this. I'm like, it's in the movie, mom. Obviously, I've heard it. Like, come on now.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm at that point in time, especially when I at my job and like I guess when we're having lunchtime, they be playing like Party in the USA. I was like, hold up. I was around your age when this came out. What y'all know about Party in the
Okay, but like it works with actual songs that we like listened to when it came out, like we were growing up. But like, you know, of course, it's a little different if it's something older than we never heard before, or like when we weren't even born. But yeah, like when you know you hear the Soldier Boy song, you're like, what you know about this? We had a whole dance to this,
bats?
and like you said, Panda and
Bro,
Fetty Wap, all that stuff.
imagine TikTok around the time that Crank That Soldier Boy came out.
Oh, imagine TikTok. Like if TikTok was made,
Yeah, around that time, around that same time period.
that I can already like if Soldier that would have blown up on that would have blown up on TikTok. That song, Watch Me Wait, Watch Me Nay Nay, for sure. What other songs? I don't know, but I the songs now just I don't know. They're just overplayed, and it makes me not want to like the song. Like, cause I feel like there's actually good songs on TikTok, but because they play it so much, it's like, oh no. Like, I know like Olivia Rodrigo, which I know like she's like a coming up female artist and stuff. Like, I'm actually like saying like she's an actually pretty good singer, but because they play her song so much on TikTok and then the radio, it just makes me not want to like her because I hear the damn song all the time. Like, there's a difference, I think, between appreciating the artist's performance and then abusing it by continuing to play their music every single day or every single hour. Because I don't want to switch radio stations and that's the only song I hear, because then I don't want to listen to the radio. You said what?
Not no comment because pretty much on is at the same point as you when it comes to that.
And that's why, well, that's one of the reasons why I'm not a TikTok. I'm not gonna go too far on that because I'll go down a dark hole that will never return.
Oh my!
But yeah, but yeah, all I gotta say is I'm like trying to, because I know I told you the other day, like when Juice World was blowing up, like I did not, and I think that's also a thing like I personally have is I don't like, depending on what it is, I don't like to hop on like the hype train, like if that
Mm,
makes sense.
um,
So I know like when Juice World was blowing up, like of course I heard like his most popular song, but like when everyone was talking about him, I was just like, okay, like he's just another performer. But then I was like, okay, like I like to literally have like a list of artists on my phone that I want to like listen to, either because I've heard songs that they do now, and then I'm like, okay, I want to like check out their previous work to see if I like it. So then I know I did that with Juice WRLD, and I'm like, damn, that man's actually talented, and it's sad that what happened to him and all that. So like I have a bunch of other people. Like I want to, if possible, or I want to go back and listen to DMX's old stuff and all that. I know it might be wild, but I'll get through it. Um, and there's like a bunch of other people I have all that. You got anything else?
so I think you answered this question, but who would you say is your like biggest like is top artists that you listen to?
I'm just saying this because of the Spotify like analytic things, but I probably would have to say Logic for sure. And I
I know
know,
why.
huh?
Same. It sets Logic for me too at number one. Either Logic or J. Cole.
Yeah, and I mean I think Logic's only number one because if I'm really fucking with a Logic song, then I'll rewind it and listen to it two more times or something. But I mean, I just feel like I connect with that man. I know he biracial and I know he's a white man, but he can rap. Like, come on now.
Remember,
Like,
not a Logic song unless he talk about being biracial.
exactly. Plus, he actually has good. I mean, I'm not gonna say this just for Logic for those who are watching, but like I will say for every artist, there's a hidden message with in the song that is going on. For Olivia Rodrigo, might be about fucked up dudes like abusing their girlfriends or breaking their girlfriend's heart. Billie Eilish, I have no idea what she sings about, but there's a message behind that too. J. Cole, he just is appreciating his time on earth, hanging out with his niggas. Drake, basically a nigga that like to flex on fucking time, okay? But Logic, like that man, I feel like really cares so much. Like he's putting all his emotion and shit. And then like, I mean, I know like it paid off big time when he did the 1-800 song, but like every other song of his, if it's not a hype song, like it's not really appreciated like that. Because I know, like, I asked one of my coworkers I worked with last year, because I know he listened to Logic too. And I was like, oh, like, what's your favorite album by him? And he's like, oh, Everybody. He's like, I think that's his greatest album ever. And he's like, not just because of the 1-800 song, but in every song that he had, there was like some hidden message behind it. Because again, I know Logic also likes to tell stories, and he does that in his albums too, which I also like because it's inventive. Because it kind of reminds me of Trapped in the Closet, but not in the bad way of Trapped in the Closet. But again, we're not gonna go
That's
on
a
that.
classic, by the way. Trapped in the
That
Closet.
is a classic too. Because I remember the first time I listened to him, I'm like, this is good, but just the fact it's going this deep is like a little too far. But again, yeah, back to Logic. So yeah, I just feel like he has like a lot of good stuff in between songs, and I'm glad he's back because I was like, nah, it's too early for this man to retire. I mean, he just turned like 30 something. Like I know most people retire like in their late 40s or something, but like I think you stated before, like they're still around, like they still make beats or something, or maybe write lyrics for someone else. They just might not perform.
I mean, he said it himself. He's pretty much stated in many different ways, so many times, that he loves hip hop too much to retire at this point in time. So I always knew that, like, even if he wasn't gonna be a full-time artist, he was gonna have something to do with the game of hip hop, whether it's hopping on features or producing beats like Dr. Dre. See what I did there? Like Dr. Dre or whatever the case may be. But
Yeah.
yeah, that man loves hip hop too much, and you can see that.
Yeah. I think yeah, Logic's my number one. I think Future. I think I may be wrong about this. I think Future's my number two artist.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know
Mister,
if
I'm gonna put my thumb in her butt, Future.
yes, that Future nigga. But I don't know if it's just because man makes actual good songs or whatever, or maybe just because he be doing the weird shit like and fuck, I forgot the one song for Black Panther, where he taught Slava me now.
Oh, King's Dead.
But just like the fact, like I feel like man should really just be doing whatever and can get away with it. Again, also like Eminem, because I don't know how Eminem gets away with half of everything that man says. Still, like Future's like the same way. Mans could do anything and still make a hit off of it, and then just I appreciate like I also feel like he also blew up a lot because he worked with Drake, and then of course their work was like those were some good songs like Jump Man, Diamonds Dancing, like
That is it.
you can't tell me if that song come on, you not gonna press skip. You gotta listen to that song, either one of them.
Big facts.
And then I think my third person, I think probably is J. Cole, just because like man's just really be chilling. Like I know like one of my coworkers right now, he was just like, oh, he's like, I don't want to become a celebrity because I'm going to be changed by the money. Like J. Cole is a perfect example of you can become very successful and not let it affect you. Because that man's just straight chilling.
Big facts.
I think that's all I got for this topic. You got anything else?
Not really for me. Well, since you went top three, I guess I might as well go top three
You already
myself.
said Logic's your number one, so.
Well, I was saying I'm on Spotify. I ain't say number one in general.
Oh, shit, nigga, damn. Go ahead.
I'm about to throw y'all all out. Look, So number one, I guess he counts because he's more so like an artist that happens to be specialized in hip hop. So I guess it fits and it makes sense. I would have to go with Drake with number one. And reason why is because, like I said before, I remember sitting in the car with my sister's Hab, and we would listen to some of his old albums. Like I think Comeback Season was one of the albums that we listened to, and as well as yeah, I definitely remember when Thank Me Later came out as well. I believe that was his first studio album that he dropped. And I was still in elementary school around that time, and I just been along the ride ever since. So just seeing from that point on, and then him going from that to one of the biggest musical artists in our generation, I would honestly say that at least when it comes to hip hop, is definitely surreal because it was kind of like we pretty much grew up listening to this
Listen to
dude's
him.
music. And number two, guess don't make sense too. Eminem, because here's the thing though. I feel like he's one of those few people. Well, let me backtrack and say Eminem. Let's be honest. I think you briefly mentioned it. There are so many times where this man should have been canceled, and
He
he was
really,
never canceled.
I mean, why do you think they was trying to cancel him now? And literally, I think, yeah, millennials was fighting against Gen Z about trying to cancel him. Like,
It's
there's
not happening.
like it's him, like, and I know like he's not a music artist, but like Eminem and Long Beach Griffey both should be canceled, but they too strong. They too strong, man. Like, come on.
Gen Z been trying, bro. What? I bet millennials were looking at us and be like, "Y'all, we've been trying to cancel this man for 2 decades. The shit did not work. It's not gonna happen now. Why are you trying?"
I don't know. It's just and I was literally talking to another coworker about that because like I had said something like that seemed like I was assuming or something, and all my coworkers started joking and like, "Oh, Ray's canceled." I'm like, okay, but literally, who was the first person to start canceling people? Because they had too much time on their hands to be like, go back and listen to an artist say what he said, which was probably in the past, like not a recent song, like in the past. It was like, yeah, I didn't like he said that. I'm a cancel him. Like, what? No. No.
Right. Well, I was definitely say Eminem because of like how there's definitely something about like the rebellious type kind of music that like just sparks everybody's attention. Like it gets people's ears open and they're like, oh shit, what this man finna say next? And it's always happened throughout our generation with different kind of artists. And for me, it was just basically Eminem. More so, reason why I say Eminem is because I feel like he's one of the few artist, even today, he's one of the last few artists that you can tell really gives his all in to like the music. And when you hear certain beats, like you hear some rappers in our generation nowadays, they just kind of like just ride the wave, sort of. But no, you can tell Eminem actually like he goes off
Yeah.
like when he
And
needs.
I
So
do appreciate like you can listen to like 5 to 10 crazy songs by Eminem, but there will be that like a few songs that he has that that he like. I know, especially with everything that he's been through, because that man been through a lot. Like, especially like the shit that he includes his daughter in and stuff like that. Because I mean, I feel like that man, like, if it wasn't for his daughter, probably would have not be where he's at right now. So
he the only dude I know that can like 1 minute make a song about his daughter And then the next minute talk about stapling the dudes in nutsack. I don't know. Like that man.
Yeah, but then that's both songs would be fire though. And
Facts.
like,
He make it work. Like he the only dude I know that can do that.
yeah, yeah, dude. Crazy, but he pulls it off. But yeah, who's your third artist?
J. Cole. Pretty much for the reason that you said before, he's one of those people who is just kind of like he's not really concerned about the money or even about like getting the most numbers of most streaming numbers or anything. He was just like, you know what? I love the art. I'ma just sing my own lane and just do my own thing. And that's something that I definitely respect from him.
I don't know why this just popped in my head, but like I feel like the world would go crazy if Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick, Kanye, and Eminem were all on a freestyle or something.
Like a cipher.
The world was shut down. the world would stop functioning, bro.
Man. That's another name that I'm surprised you didn't mention.
What?
Kanye.
See, like, don't get me wrong. 'Cause I know you fuck with Kanye. You fuck with the old Kanye.
Facts. I miss the
And
old Kanye.
hmm,
Strict on the gold Kanye. Okay, go on.
I'm going to old Kanye. I like the old Kanye.
Old
Okay.
Kanye.
No, like definitely, like I probably say Kanye is like my number top 4 or 5, and then like Drake would probably be take either spot too. Because Kanye, yeah, like I mean, I don't know Kanye as much as you do for sure. But again, I know I did like with Michael Jackson and stuff. Like my mom said, would like play in the car when I'm headed to school. Like she always played Kanye, and because Stronger was my song, bro. Like when I first heard that, I
That
know
was
I
playing
played that like
everywhere.
10 times, and
That was playing everywhere when that first came out.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And then just like every album that he drops, um, I don't want to say it's a masterpiece, but it's definitely unique. And there, of course, there's like I feel like there's always guaranteed one song that's gonna blow up on his album, regardless of what it is. Like especially like the old ones, and I mean, it maybe even multiple because I know like with graduation, there's like multiple songs that hit with that shit, and then um,
Was
fuck,
dropout.
huh?
There was late registration. There's college dropout.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think it's Take the Throne with him and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Like those are unique songs. Like them niggas went off, bro. Like
This day, No Church in the Wild. That gotta be the sickest beat I've ever.
bro,
That's a stank face type beat right there. That ooh. That
bro, I still remember when I first heard that song because I didn't know it was Kanye. I heard it like the Dodge, like they made a commercial with the Charger and they were just driving in the desert. I was like, oh, and I was like, bro, I need to know. Like, I would Shazam it and shit, and then like you would tell me the song, and then I would like try and find it like on Spotify. But I know like at the time, like Jay-Z and Spotify, they were had a disagreement, so I couldn't find on Spotify for anything. And then like, wait, you said before like Jay-Z was with Spotify, you said like he would do it on YouTube instead.
I did not know. So there was like a good period of time. I'm not sure if it's going on now, but there was a good period of time where like none of his music was like streaming on like the typical streaming service, whether it was Spotify or Apple Music or whatever the case may be. There was only one other app and I forgot what it was called, but it was his music was just basically on that. But I know recently a couple of his songs have came up on YouTube using like NBA highlights or something like that.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, and then I mean, I found out that Jay-Z and Spotify are good now, so like I can find all this shit on there. But yeah, and then I'm like, oh, I got the song. Like I'm probably gonna now that you reminded me of the song, that's probably gonna be my ringtone to wake up to. Like, cause right now I have a Logic song, but now that I can already hear the beat in my head, just waking up like, like, and then like and then also because like that gives me, because I didn't know Frank Ocean was on that song, and I know Frank Ocean is pretty popular too, and I like that's probably the only song that I've heard Frank Ocean's on, but I've never listened to any Frank Ocean music, so that also gives me a lane to go check out what he makes as well. So yeah, for sure.
But
Yeah,
on and on about this, but for the sake of time, I feel like we can close it here, or at least at this time.
so we can or no?
Yeah, we can. 'Cause I feel like we've been on this one for a while.
Yeah, I was actually gonna time us while we were recording, but I didn't think so. We'll just
Yeesh.
we'll just go with that.
We've been mess around. Only have 2 topics today. That's crazy. Nah, but we'll
Got it.
see.
I mean, we can go to like 8:15 possibly. It's 7:45 right now. I guess we'll do the next topic, the friend and acquaintance, which we'll go ahead and just start right now. So next topic, well, the next and last topic we have today is what is the difference between a friend and an acquaintance? I think a friend is someone who truly cares about like your well-being and wants to genuinely hang out with you and stuff. And an acquaintance is just like that one person that you know, but you just like you might see them like once a month or once in every 3 months, but like a friend, I feel like you're gonna see like a lot, way more than an acquaintance. Because, or just like to like basically state, like, and give an example. Like, I feel like a friend is probably me will check up on you and like, or not. And what I mean by check up, not like ask you how you're doing. Like, if you like post something on your social media or something, we'll like swipe up and say something or anything like you're like on vacation, like, oh, nice vacation you're going on or whatever. May do that like once to every 2 weeks and a month. But like an acquaintance will do that maybe once in every 2 months, just be like, oh, been a while, haven't seen you in forever, just checking in, and then we'll just disappear for maybe the rest of the year later. Guess what's your definition of that?
I would say more so about somewhere along the same lines. Well, yeah, I would say along the same lines. So I'm gonna start with acquaintance because I feel like the way I'm gonna explain it is gonna branch over to like friends. So that's just how I'm gonna go about it. I feel like when it comes to an acquaintance, I feel like if I can explain this correctly, let's just say you meet them at a specific place, you pretty much only see them at that one place at a certain time every day or on certain days. So let's just say, because you're probably looking at me like, Drake, what the hell are you talking about? Let me explain. Let me give you an example real quick. So let's just say for example, you have like a classmate, right, in one of your classes, and it's someone that you pretty much talk to on a regular basis, whether they sit in the same row as you or y'all sit next to each other and y'all talk every now and then. I would say for that, for right now, for that point in time, that he's still considered an acquaintance because y'all probably only talk to each other during that class period. Once that class ends, y'all both go y'all separate ways, and y'all pretty much don't talk to each other or hear from each other ever again until that class period again. If that makes sense.
Oh no, no, no. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Because I mean, you said like you only seen that person in that class, or whatever. I mean, since it's a school, you might see them like in the hallway or cafeteria, but you're not going to talk to them as you would like in the classroom, like sitting around next to each other. Yeah. And the reason we brought up this topic is because at least me, I know like I've definitely struggled with like the difference between a friend and acquaintance. Because I know when I was younger, I know my mom told me like I would like if I literally just met someone, I would already consider them a friend, not knowing how our relationship is going to be because I can only see that person once, and then how am I gonna be like, oh yeah, this is my friend? And you're like, okay, when's the last time you hung out? Like 6 months ago? Like that's an acquaintance. So, and I know I've had this struggle. So, and then just through the years, like I've had like challenges or just situations where I thought someone was a friend, and then they either just didn't, I don't want to say exceed my expectations, but they just didn't do at least what I thought in my head what a friend would do. And then I was just like, okay, yeah, there's the difference right there. Because a friend would like, I'll just make an example. Like if I'm like about to get in a fight, like if I'm about to get in a fight, if like a friend would like back me up or try to prevent me to from the fight, and then like acquaintance is just gonna be like, stand to the side, see what's gonna happen type of beat, whatever. So and I, like, so I'm truly blessed to say I have like true friends, and then I can tell like who's like a true friend now, and an acquaintance. Because like I said, I had a very hard time distinguishing the two. Um, but I've definitely learned that now. Well, I think I like I don't want to say I like got it, but I definitely did like for sure like know the difference by the time I graduated high school. Because by the time I graduated high school, like people that I would hang out with, if they wanted to hang out like with people we used to hang out with, they didn't invite me. So I was like, okay, I'm not a friend, or I never was a friend because you didn't think to invite me or something like that. So, and, of course, I wasn't thinking about them like that either. So I was like to them, I'm just an acquaintance as well. But I don't know about how you like signified how or yeah, signify like what's the difference between a friend and acquaintance, and if you had any struggles or anything like that.
Um, I would say, well, like I said before, I pretty much told you my definition of acquaintance is pretty much seeing them at one specific place at one specific time. I know them, they know me, we cool with one another. Whereas with a friend, we pretty much meet, say we have that same class together, but we're pretty much at times we'll meet outside of that, whether it's after school or on the weekends, grabbing something to eat and talking to each other and get to know one another.
Yeah.
And that's my thing with being a friend. But yeah, as far as what a true like what a true friend is and how to find a distinction between the two, I definitely had my struggles with it more so with middle school because it was around the time where just a lot was going on in my personal life, and I'm not going to go too far in depth about it out of respect for my family. They know what was going around that time, of
Oh
course.
yeah.
But
Sure.
yeah, I'm not going to go too far into it. But yeah, pretty much that. And then also my childhood best friend moved further out all the way. I believe he was at the time he moved to the Katy area as well. So we definitely were not going to the same school anymore. So in a sense, it was a way for me having to start over again in a sense of finding new people to hang out with, and especially making that transition from elementary school to middle school. That's already like a rough period in itself because of the pressure of wanting to fit in and wanting to be popular and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's already a struggle a bit by itself. And then also you combine the fact of like I pretty much had nobody really to talk to because of the situation I was put in, and definitely put me in a position to where like I feel like desperation took over and it forced me to like I know I don't really think bullying is the correct way or the correct term that I will use because I would typically think of bullying and teasing in a certain way, and I definitely won't say that I felt like that. I feel like the best way that I can describe it is I definitely felt my values and what I believed in were compromised. I pretty much like invalidated them for the sake of approval of others and peer pressure and all that other stuff. And that led to definitely a rough time of being teased and bullied and all that stuff. And I would say how I found a distinction was the fact of because at that point in time, I just thought that that's what being a friend was.
Yeah.
In hindsight, now I know better than that. But me, my 13, 14-year-old self, I didn't know any better. I was young, I was stupid, and I mean, I'm more so now, but definitely around that time, just very ignorant of what a true friend really was. And I feel like how I found a distinction was pretty much getting involved in the youth ministry and helping out with the audio video stuff with you and Charles and Darion and just having our whole little clique together and realizing that I can fully be myself and not having to compromise on who I want to be. So that was definitely at that point in time where I realized what a true friend was and what everything that happened before was not. It was maybe an acquaintance shit at best, if that's even a word. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm gonna make it a word today.
God,
Acquaintanceship, you know what I'm saying?
acquaintanceship.
Yeah.
Damn. No, like, and I'm not saying like I'm perfect at like identifying because I mean there are I'm not saying like there are true friends who hide and act like acquaintances, but I mean you never know. Because like I definitely um sophomore year like I was and like I like your definition of how you say an acquaintance like of how it's that person but you like only with them in that environment, that specific environment. Because like I thought I had a friend, and it was the same thing. Like we would hang out in the same environment, and I mean, granted, it's college, so but I'm gonna like exclusively count it towards like honor society because that's where I saw her the most. But I would still see her around college and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I just didn't want to count her as like an acquaintance because I'm like, okay, I'm not only seeing her at the honor society stuff. Like I'm seeing her like at the cafe, and I'm seeing her sometimes at the library or like our student union thing. So I thought like she was a friend of mine.
If anything, it sounded like she was at that sweet spot in the middle. Like you can't really call her a full-on friend, but she was more than an acquaintance.
Yeah, yeah, but like, and like with friends, of course, you start to tell stuff about yourself to that person and tell your not your deep darkest stuff, but you like you make that like progress bar, if that makes sense. Like you don't like tell everything to one person because you don't know, hey, if they're just that person that doesn't like you, or if you just need to do something with them real quick, or if they're actually going to be like your friend for like 10, 20, 30 years in the future. So we never like had that. But then I remember at the time, if she's watching, she knows she's distinct by this saying, oh, oh, hold on, I'm gonna like pause it real quick. All right, sorry about that. One of my coworkers was asking me a question. It's everybody's first. Well, not everyone's first day. Like I have a bunch of new coworkers, and like they're asking me questions because I've lived in this building before, and they just want to know what's going on. But I think I was saying before, so yeah. But this girl, like, she knows she's distinct by like specifically this because this was the only girl I was doing this with. But we used to ride back home together because we both lived in Houston. Now she specifically lives in Sugarland, but like what we would do is like I'd have like a stop drop off point that I drop her at, and then I meet her dad, and her dad would like pick her up from where I dropped her off, and then they would go home. And then where I dropped her off was Katy Mills, so it was literally like 15 minutes from my house, and I go home. So I'm in San Antonio. Houston to San Antonio and San Antonio to Houston each is a 3 hour drive. So I'm technically spending 6 hours with this girl. Granted, we're not telling like our whole life stories for one another, but that's like literally precious one-on-one time that you're having with that person because you're in a car with just you two. So, and we did that multiple times throughout the year. So I would think, at least just me, that all that time, like let's say you do that, like that, take that trip once a month. And I'm gonna start from like October to like I'll say like April. Already right there, you can tell that's like 40 hours that I've spent, or over 40 hours that I spent with this girl. Plus, like I said, still seeing her through the honor society and on campus and other stuff. So just generally speaking, you would think that we're friends because we spent all this time together. But after all this time, I was seeing her as a friend. She just saw me as an acquaintance. And then, of
Mm.
course, it didn't help because I also liked this girl. So
Mm.
I should say that didn't go the way I wanted it to. Damn, nigga. Like, sorry about that. I had to talk to someone on the phone real quick. But yeah, basically, where I picked up. Yeah, so like I said, I liked this girl and then didn't go the way I wanted it to. But like, we're still, I don't care. I'm not gonna say friends. We're acquaintances now because like last year, like I would still talk to her even amongst the whole confusion part, and I just wanted to confirm because at least with me, I'm gonna put in more effort to do stuff for my friends than acquaintances that I occasionally talk to. So I straight up asked her, I was like, okay, what do you see me as? And I was like, exclude the whole me trying to shoot my shot with you. And she's like, I only see you as an acquaintance. She's like, because we haven't really talked that much. Now, to me, when I heard that, I was like, that's cap, a little bit of cap, because we talk a lot. But maybe because, it's not like I was telling her about like, funny stories that I experiences or trauma or, even just mentioning my family. So I could kind of see still why she counted me as an acquaintance. But it was just like same time, like you've had all this talk and I'm just acquaintance to you. But I just took it how I took it. I was like, all right. And I was like, well, I guess you're an acquaintance to me then, because it's a little awkward now. So, and it's been like that since that day. So like even now, I don't talk to her as much as I would talk to her like before, of course, I shoot my shot. But yeah, but it just like really made me think like, okay, like if that situation had happened with her, and I talked to her quite a lot, I was like, okay, then who else do I hang out with that possibly sees me as an acquaintance or something like that? So I've definitely tried to make sure I know the difference between that. Which most of the time I'm correct. Like when I say it, I ask like, "Oh, you're my friend," someone else is like, "Oh yeah, no, I see you as a friend because I hang out with you a lot, we talk a lot, or something like that." But yeah, that was like the only like mis not mistake, but like something like that I didn't see clearly because I thought she was a friend, and turns out she saw me as something totally different.
Definitely. That I feel like that's really, really gets tricky because everyone has like different definitions of what is a friend, what is an acquaintance, and even go as far as like what communicates to them what is considered romantic interest, what is showing romantic interest. That's a whole another topic in general that I don't think that we'll have the time for. Like the
Mhm.
difference between flirting and friendly.
Well, difference between flirting and then like being nice is I know that's
Yeah.
uh, that definitely will be a different topic. Yeah, that was very painful for me to go through because I was like I've seen you like in like you said in this view or perspective this whole time, and now I have to change it because you were not looking at me that whole time, like the same way I was looking at you. But it's like if I was looking through a peephole, like I saw the whole peephole, and she was only looking like she only like covered half of it and was looking through half of it. If that makes sense. Um, but yeah, I definitely like now make sure like, and then now it's kind of just a feeling too. Like I can guarantee, like I'm not gonna say like my best friend is someone from high school. Oh, correction, besides you and Charles, because I've known y'all since around middle school. Like we've known each other that long, but like someone that I talked to once or twice in choir, I'm not going to consider them my best friend because I only talked to them once or twice in choir. So it's very different now. And like I said, I think it's pretty obvious, but of course, the older you get, I feel like the more easier it is to realize like who's truly a friend, an acquaintance. And like I say, a friend will always reach out. I feel like an acquaintance will just reach out. Like for example, if it's someone you graduated with and then you go visit your school just for something, maybe like they'll reach out then because again, like you said, y'all were in the same environment. They're like, oh, damn, it's been 8 years since we graduated high school. That's definitely an acquaintance because a friend would be like, oh, look at when we graduated a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So yeah.
But that's definitely well, I would say personally to me, I can't really apply that aspect of it only because I'm not really the best when it comes to like checking up on people. I definitely not as frequent as you do. So I will give you props for that. You are definitely better at checking up on people more frequently than I am with that. So I can't really go I can't really apply that aspect of the difference between friendship and acquaintance because I will kind of be a hypocrite in a sense. But yeah. But I feel like it still definitely applies in a sense of like, as you said before, an acquaintance will only check up on you that very next day when you meet in the exact same class versus when a friend, they'll probably reach out to you, if not probably the very next time that they see you. Or if not the very next time, then like at some point. Like I feel like a friend will more so be like, you mentioned something and that like you had towards the end of the day. And then that friend will basically they will see you and be like, oh, you had this thing going on towards the end of the day. How did that go? Did it go well? How did it not go well? Like what went good and stuff like that. So
Yeah, a friend will definitely pick up on something that like you don't think normal people would care about. So like, if I just told you, hey, I didn't do well on the test, you'd probably be like, oh, damn, like you gonna redo the test or something? Acquaintance might be like, oh well, that's tough. Try to do better on the next test or something like
right.
that. Like or something like that. And like that's also one of my biggest things is people checking up on me because I feel like that's how you technically prove that you're a friend. And like I know you said you're working on it, but like I don't get mad that you don't do stuff because I know you're very busy, and stuff like that. Because well, I don't think you're still working at. Wait, are you still working at the Y right now? Or
I mean, I technically am, but not the same hours I've been working.
oh, okay,
I'm just
yeah,
basically working like a couple hours this next week, and then I move back, which that's another thing. And I'm gonna mention it towards the end because that's completely unrelated to this topic.
gotcha. But yeah, but like I said, like at least like I know you're a true friend because when I respond to you, you'll respond. Typically, I'm not gonna give like a specific time range, even though I'm about to give a specific time range, but you'll at least answer within like or less than 4 hours. And if you don't, then you have a pretty good reason why you don't. But like an acquaintance, unless they just are very busy, won't reach out to you, like you said, until the next day or maybe another day after, something like that. And yeah, again, acquaintances are only going to check up on you in specific times or like when you're at a certain location. So if I like I said, I graduated at Side Springs. So if I go to Side Springs, be like, damn, all the memories I spent at Side Springs. I bet you there's gonna be someone who graduated Side Springs the same year I did that I knew but haven't talked to in these past 4 years that would reach out and be like, yeah, damn, it's been a while, versus you being like, nigga, I know you don't care about Side Springs. You hate that school. Like, not that I actually do, but like if you were there, you know what was going on. At least senior year. But yes, big difference. But like I said, every day is a lesson. So, I'm learning like, oh, okay, this could be a person who possibly could be a true friend, or just like you said, in the middle, or this is like a full on acquaintance or whatever. And then there's that person that's like a stranger, like you know them, but you don't talk to them. Yeah, but we don't really want to do that. 'Cause I would hope you know what a stranger is. But
Yee.
what? Huh?
I was like, yee, yee on that
Wait, you
debate.
say yee yee?
Yo.
No, okay, okay. This is off topic, but like one of my coworkers here, like she's from El Paso, and like she's a country gal for sure, because like she always wears boots and like something cowboy related. So she was wearing a shirt during our training that said yee yee. And I was like, I swear one day I'm just gonna like scream in my building, yee yee. It's like I was like, I told her I was like, you gonna hear that, you gonna like come out running like a cow or something like. No, it's bad, uh, but no, what were we gonna say about you moving or something?
Oh, I was gonna say the very next time that y'all see me and that you will see me would not be in this setting. So
Wait, are y'all moving?
no, well, I am into my dorm
Oh,
room.
okay. Well, I thought I was like, next time I think I would see you would be when you're at home. So I was like, huh?
Oh, nah, because I know you're in your room right now. All the same, I'll be the same away. So
Well, I think your room's a little bit bigger than mine, and of course, it's a whole different setup because y'all have different colors.
thanks.
'Cause, y'all the Bloods. We're the I'm gonna call us half crip because half of our school color is blue. We're mainly orange, but I will count the blue, so we're half crip. But
Wait,
y'all,
orange is our primary color?
yeah, we're orange, blue, and white.
I thought it was blue, orange, and white.
Nah, it's orange, blue, and white, my guy.
Ain't no way.
Bro, I'm telling you, like, let me grab a shirt. Like, the shirt is like, it's literally mainly orange. But of course, you see the blue and white on.
I feel like I see the blue way more than I see the orange typically.
Nigga, are you colorblind?
Not with that shirt. I'm just saying in general.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, maybe because I'm wearing the blue, but no, like any. I mean, well, there are some school shirts that will have like be mainly blue or something. 'Cause like I said, that's our second primary color, and we do have some white shirts as well. But like, yeah, this school like even with our mask, like you see, it's mostly orange, and then you'll have the blue too. So, uh, yeah, you got anything else you want to add, Mister Quinn
Mr. Quinn, that's crazy. But
or
yeah, I
Brother
was gonna.
Quinn?
Oh my lord, Reverend Quinn. But I was saying, go back to the friends thing. I will definitely say, I feel like that time period, that transition between like whether it's middle school to high school, more so during high school to college, and especially in college to the real world, is definitely that time period once you truly start figuring out who's like your friends and who's not. And I think it's just kind of like, I know for me, honestly speaking, I would say a good 90 to 95% of the people that I really talked to in high school, don't really talk to them anymore now.
Yeah,
And it's just one of those things where it's just kind of like nothing bad happened between us. It's just
yeah,
kind
it was just a
of going our
mutual
separate
partying.
paths. Yeah. I mean, go our, bless you.
Thank you.
They're going to different schools, they have different goals and different lives. At some point, you're gonna go to separate ways, and it's
Because
all right.
like
So
literally the only person I talked to from my high school is Jordan, who was on the last podcast, by the way. And like he's like the only person I talked to from my high school because there's a bunch of people like that I graduated with ROTC and well, correction, I will take that back because at Amazon, one of my other coworkers that I was with in English, um, we graduated same year too, and I ran into her while I was working at Amazon. And so I like talked to her when we weren't working. Besides her, like yeah, Jordan's basically only got the person I talked to because everyone else, like you said, just went into their own life, and I just never found the time, or they never found the time to do anything with me. So I just did the same, and it was just a mutual party. But yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. Because like parents will say not everyone is your friend, and not everyone is supposed to be your friend because most people who you know, I feel like it's like a test, to like actually prove who's your friend. Because I know like, and I'm not trying to get biblical here, but I know like they say like a true friend will like actually die for you, like take a bullet for you, like if someone shoots at you or something. Your quote unquote friend, if you're at gunpoint, might run away or something. Try and run away from danger instead of confronting the danger. So definitely definitely interesting to see. And I know like they always say too, like when you're in college, like those people that you make friends with are usually like your lifelong friends too, that you have like when you're in adulthood and stuff, then you're not high school. I think this was a good podcast to talk about.
I mean, not a lot of like funny topics, but
I
still
mean,
makes for good content.
yeah, just got you thinking your mentals and went deep with this. I mean, made you think of talented people with the musical stuff, and then made you realize that hey, your friend that you might be watching this podcast with right now may really be your true friend that stay friends with for 20 plus years, or may just be someone that given the situation, because anything can break people up, either if it's like a breakup or just things just don't work out or whatever, because people once they get jobs, they get busy and they never stay in contact. So I think that's like the major way of like, I don't want to say breaking up a friendship, but like things not staying together most likely. But yeah, so you never know.
So many different factors to consider when it comes to things like that. So
Is there anything else you want to say to the glorious people watching?
I think we're good here. I think we're good. Other than, like I said, next time you see me, I will be in my new dorm room for the school year. Which thank God, because I'm gonna keep it a bean with y'all. I'm not messing with this lighting right here. I know that's a bit behind the scenes, but yeah. So next time I will have some better lighting for y'all. My apologies, but making it work.